Good morning to everybody. You have truly exceeded our expectations this morning. We had 955 registered members of Appalachian Electric Cooperative. Give yourselves a hand. That's the largest registration we've ever had. So thank you for coming out to the 75th annual meeting. I also want to thank our distinguished guests and elected officials for joining us on this special day of recognition and celebration. I greatly appreciate our partnerships, and Bill Johnson mentioned that word, and it truly is a partnership. Our relationships and truly the common values we share in serving you, the members of the cooperative. Now, as grateful as I am to each of our guests for their attendance here today, by far none are more important than you, the members of the cooperative, because you are really the real reason we're here. Without your trust and support, none of us would be commemorating 3/4 of a century as Appalachian Electric Cooperative. Your presence here today means that you recognize the key role you play as member owners of our co-op. You understand that. Unlike folks who might get their power from other utilities, like investor-owned utilities, you have the power to elect representatives to AEC's board of directors, people you trust to speak for your interest and to set policies that will guide our co-op as you see fit. Now, this self-governing model is just one of the features that sets us apart. But it's very significant. It's a very significant aspect of co-op membership. By being here today and joining with your friends and neighbors and electing a slate of directors to serve for the next 3 years, you continue the legacy of the men and women that came together all those years ago to decide that they would be part of something much bigger than themselves. They became the first members of Appalachian Electric Cooperative, whose sole purpose was to be of service to those that brought it into being. Their vision and bold action meant that electric service would finally reach far into the countryside in this part of East Tennessee, all the way out to where the rural folks who needed it most. Now, all these years later, is it indeed a great honor for me to be standing here today as your general manager. I have a strong sense of being part of a great legacy established by some very talented and hardworking individuals that came before me. Now, during the first few years of AEC's existence, which, by the way, occurred when America was fighting in World War II, leadership changes took place quite often. But since 1946, only 4 other individuals have held this position: Roy Hendricks, Charlie Balch, Kenneth Carpenter, and Bill Underwood. And I believe Bill Underwood is here today, someplace. But I appreciate him being with us. Each man's tenure as general manager included periods of both stability and times of great change. They all faced major challenges, and they also oversaw times of amazing progress. Now, in reflecting on this crossroads in our history, this seemed to me like a good time to think about the significance of following in their footsteps. I recently learned a bit more about the perspectives of these long-ago managers by taking a look at their annual messages to the membership, and I thought I would share some of their thoughts with you today. Now, many of the issues they encountered were very different than what we face. For example, with the scarcity of materials that came with the war years, just obtaining adequate supplies and materials with which to build lines was a significant challenge. Yet, after many decades, there are also some startling, relevant similarities. Then, as now, improving the lives of those we serve has always been the guiding force of AEC. And that's evidenced in the annual report from 1946-47 and the message given by Roy Hendricks in his message to the membership. Listen as I share just an excerpt. We like to think there is something more to furnishing people with electricity than just selling them something they must have. Appalachian is serving electricity to the people who own it. And this electricity can be used in our homes, on our farms, and in our business, industrial and recreational establishments in such a way as to build up this area year by year to a better and better way of living. It can create jobs, it can increase farm income, it can do many of the back-breaking jobs that wear people out, and it can furnish entertainment. Appalachian is interested in all of these things. We are extending our lines all over this area as fast as they can be built. We want to feed in electricity to the people of the whole territory and watch them use it to build a better way of living. We want to help them do this whenever we can and however we can, for Appalachian belongs to the people and is their tool for shaping the resources of the whole area. And we will be here to help in any way we can, for we are here for no other reason than to serve the area. Concern for community is another principle of the cooperative business model. And this passage from Roy Hendricks displays that very well. It is a settled policy with your board that the cooperatives should be interested in all phases of the development of this area, and that it must encourage real progress of all kinds. In our line building program, as well as in all the other phases of our operations, we look upon all the area we serve and all the people who live in it as just one big community. In the work of serving our members, we cross community and county lines, but in our thinking, we like to picture the area as just one big community. That's because we serve it that way, impartially and with equal consideration given to all parts of it. We are convinced that the most rapid progress can be made in developing the resources of the area if all of us work together on this big job. That big job is still ongoing today, 75 years later. We are dedicated to doing everything we can to power progress throughout our area, supporting economic development and bringing good jobs to our community by providing reliable electricity at competitive rates. We believe in investing in our youth and member education, helping the next generation of consumers gain the knowledge that will help them better manage their energy budgets. And as always, we try to meet our members where they are, seeking to provide them with service options that make sense for them, outreach tools that are based on technologies that are part of their lives, programs that empower them to take charge of their energy use, and information that impacts their lives for the better. Now, I am extremely excited to be able to announce to you today, and you are the first to know this, that your cooperative was recently awarded one of only 2 grants conferred throughout the entire Tennessee Valley to help build a 1.3 megawatt community solar facility. In the coming months, you'll hear more about how you, as a member of the co-op, can subscribe to our community solar program and receive a monthly energy credit from your participation in this project, which is made possible by a partnership with TVA. So thank you, Bill. Environmentally sustainable energy sources like solar are becoming a growing part of TVA's generation portfolio, and we are very proud to be able to bring this option to you, the members of Appalachian Electric. Another recent example of the kind of value we continually strive to bring to our members is the savings offered through your new Co-op Connections card, which was attached to the Tennessee Magazine that you received earlier this month in September. Completely free of charge, it currently provides discounts on prescription drugs, vision, and dental services. And we're reaching out now to vendors and businesses in our service area to be able to feature even more locations where the card is honored. A number of the co-ops across the Tennessee Valley or across Tennessee use this card, and they have saved thousands and thousands of dollars for their members. So we're very glad that we can bring this to our members also. So keep watching our website and you'll get an updated list of the participating vendors and businesses. Now, in the middle of your program, and Robert mentioned this earlier, there is kind of an excerpt of the auditor's report, the financial report. Let me just highlight a few things. We had a very good fiscal year with a strong financial performance. We retired over $3 million in debt, increased our equity to 57%. And for the first time since 2008, when we had the economic downturn, we added over 300 new electric accounts this past fiscal year. That is great news for this area. So, very good news. And just since July the 1st, in the first quarter of this fiscal year, we've already added almost another 100. So this is good news. I'm hoping that that's a sign that things are turning around in our service area. We recently launched our new construction work plan, which details over $47 million in capital improvements and growth over the next 5 to 6 years. If you live up in the Bean Station area, you've seen a part of that where we've just recently rebuilt a section of our transmission line in that particular area. Now, recently announced in the news, you probably heard about a TVA wholesale rate adjustment effective October the 1st, which is going to impact bills about 1.5%. However, the good news is your co-op did not add anything to that. Okay? We have held our cost and our rates to you as a member for 3 years, and we're continuing to try to do that through just as good a management as we can. So we have not had a rate increase for your co-op since April of 2013. With our continued strong financial position, I'm happy to be able to say that we probably won't need another one until October of next year. That's 3.5 years. In closing, I'd like to say that as proud as I am to be your co-op's general manager, I am equally proud to be an AEC member. I'm proud of the special connection we have, a shared understanding of what we've been through to get to where we are, a sense of strength that comes from overcoming challenges, and an abiding vision of how much we can accomplish when we work together for the good of our community of members. Now, hopefully when you came in today, you got a copy of the commemorative publication that we put together just for this event, a 75th publication. If you didn't get a copy, there'll be some folks at the door. I really want all of our members to leave with a copy of this. As you look through it, I hope you'll enjoy learning more about the story of your cooperative. It's about people. It's about the people that made this cooperative. Some of those folks work here at AEC, and you've got to meet them today. They're wearing the green shirts all over the place. I am indeed privileged to work alongside the very best employees. You can also learn more about some very special members in the publication we spoke with, individuals who can remember what life was like here before the family farms they grew up on were served by co-op power. They remember what it was like when the lights came on. Their stories are a part of our legacy, and we're so very proud to be able to share them with you. AEC's long-standing relationship with its member owners is a part of the history of this very special place we are blessed to call home. As I look around this morning at the friends and neighbors that have gathered here, this 75th annual membership meeting feels very much like a homecoming. In that spirit, I want to thank you for coming home to your co-op to help us celebrate this occasion. And just like when families get together, we're going to be doing some good eating today, so please stay to join us for lunch. And I hope you'll take a moment before you leave to say thank you to our employees, to the board members, to the Washington Youth Tour students, to the members who serve on our committees. Give them a word of thanks. And thank you so much for being here, but mostly, happy 75th birthday, Appalachian Electric Cooperative. Thank you.